Let's learn about how to find Python packages and what are the right packages to use for your specific work. Where you know that Python comes with surprisingly many built-in packages out of the box. So that we call it as Python comes with batteries included, where we can see that lot of surprisingly most of your work can be done with the standard libraries, Python standard libraries, where you can see here that you can find with the docs.python.org and the version and library, where you can see all comprehensive list of packages, modules that Python comes with. Where you have, if you want to work with, let's say that debugging, you have a uh, TBD module, and you have a for unit testing, unit test module is there, and for UI, if you want to create a from graphical in GUI application, you have a tick inter for suppose if you want to make a media player, play audio songs. So you have actually tick inter and you have a wave, the wave file, wave, you can read a wave, read and write wave files where you can see simply. For suppose if we go down there, we can see any one of the examples that they provide, but this is not having any. Where wave.open, it will simply, this is able to read wave files, wave format, where by the end of the day, any file, even you take a image, video, song, audio, anything is shared, is saved as bits and bytes, right? Ones and zeros. So audio files have a particular format where that format we have a out of the box we have module that works with wave that is capable of reading and writing that multimedia wave format. And we have actually, if you want to make some http requests, we have a applications here, sorry, packages and modules here, where we can make a http requests. And we have actually pop lib where we can just like that our outlook does, what outlook does, outlook works with the pop protocol to fetch mails from the mail server, where we have actually IMAP, internet message access protocol, and poplib. Using these libraries we can communicate with mail server and we can fetch mails. And we have smtplib, we can actually send mail using smtplib. So we have many of these libraries we have out of the box supported, where if there are, these are called built-in libraries, so, mm, which in the sense standard libraries that are uh, out of the box, they are available when python is installed. And we any libraries that are not available out of the box, included the any libraries, any frameworks that are not included with Python, are called third party libraries or frameworks. Libraries are small and frameworks are very big. And frameworks are made up of different libraries. You can think of frameworks are made up of, if you put together related libraries, and if and you make it actually sufficient enough to provide end-to-end solution, we call it as a framework. And we have very much actually awesome website, which is awesomepython.org. Oh, this is not the link, which is not awesomepython.org, sorry, which is awesomepython.com. Awesome-python.com. What it does, it is provides it has a curated list of awesome Python libraries and frameworks for each work you do, each specific or industry. Okay, so where right side you can sidebar, you can see that, um, So my goodness, you can see it's Python is used for in these different types of streams, industries. And the where this is not an exhaustive list, and this is not actually very comprehensive list, where there are still there are other libraries frameworks that are not included. This is a curated list where if you are working with web development, let's say that uh, or let's say let me search for Django, uh, and you can see here for a Django, of course these are all called applications of a Django that are included also here. And you can see here what are the some frameworks available to create a RESTful APIs that are Django, Flask, Pyramid. These are frameworks. Okay, and how do you install them? And this surprisingly this provides directly a link to that site or that source code at that site, and you can see and here the instruction to install that pip. How do you install that package or framework? And let's say that I want to do some text processing or a machine learning. What are some libraries frameworks available for machine learning? You can see here H2O metric and scikit-learn. And yeah, if I want to detect I want to create application with some computer vision where so if I see actually if I picture any object, then my application should be able to identify whether it is an object, which object, or whether it is a plant. Okay, or see, let's say that this is a kind of task which we can develop with the Python, where you see that application is able to identify each object, traffic light, person, car, truck, that kind of work I wanted to do. So for that, we have libraries as well, frameworks, where we have see that OpenCV, which is quite widely used because this kind of projects are also uh, widespread in an industry where computer face recognition, where if you take a iPhone, that there is actually face ID. Yes, yes, face ID. So behind the scenes, so it requires a face recognition application runs where but that is probably client side or server side. That kind of work we have libraries and the frameworks here. And widely used one is very big, which is OpenCV. And there is actually ORM. For ORM, Django is Django, which is a framework because it tend to provide end-to-end solutions. That is the reason you see Django in multiple places. Okay. So SQL Alchemy, these are all provide Django. What is what these not Django? These are all provide ORM. What is ORM? Object relation mapping. ORM stands for. That is what actually abstract away the behind the database. What runs behind. So that using ORM, if you learn ORM, you can work with any uh, database software because it abstract away the database specific features. And Twisted is a asynchronous programming framework which is used to create online multiplayer games, time critical real time applications where Twisted is used. And for asynchronous programming, we have async.io, Trio, Twisted. And for audio, if you want to work with audio, if you want to create any media player, or if you want your application to process uh, audio of different formats. So we have You see here we have different libraries. Let's say that here you go, web frameworks. So there are different types of frameworks: asynchronous, synchronous, and Tornado is a synchronous framework, and Django is synchronous, which is quite popular, and Flask and Pyramid and Masonite. And these are different frameworks that are used to create a websites. They are web frameworks. To build website, these different frameworks are used. And one can choose to use Flask, which is a micro framework, lightweight, and Django, which is having a which is a framework, so it offers end-to-end solutions, and Pyramid, which is a small, fast, and which is other kind of a framework. Pyramid, it takes different approach. So among them, Django is quite popular. And if I, let's say that I wanted to use Flask, and if I click on this one, which is a very resourceful website, this awesome Python is, and here you go. And how do I install this one? Let's say that I wanted to use this Flask. So how do I install Flask? Let's say that installation. If you go to that site, and pretty much for anything, all you do is actually pip space install Flask. This is what. For any framework, we use Python package manager pip and install and that package name. All we need to know is actually that package. Let's say that install this one here, pip install Flask. Okay, pip 3, and sometimes you may have actually pip 3 instead of pip, and based on what is installed. I'm actually here, this is installed already, otherwise that will be installed. And since that is installed, how do you verify? If you go to the Python and import, you should not get any error. Let's say that I don't have a pyramid here. This pyramid framework, how do you install this one? I don't have that. Yeah, that pyramid framework I don't have. So if I go and actually try to import this one, what do you see? I got the error. Okay, so it is simple. Yes, you have to install that. Think of them as a softwares for Python. These are packages. Okay. So, and basically it supports pip supports Setch as well. Okay, and there is actually, it is not for some reason it is not giving what you can do. You can go to Python package index. It is actually comprehensive list, you can see, and these many actually zero point 0.4 million projects are there, and you can search, and here you can actually pretty much compare, filter all these frameworks libraries according to their stream, industry, and their use case. Okay, if we click on Django here, you will see all Django related libraries frameworks. And I have Pyramid here, and you see I was not able to import that one. So let's install this Pyramid. How to install this one? Simple, pip 3 install. Okay, pyramid. And this is not necessarily pip3 for you. That depends on Python version you install and default Python interpreter that is configured in your system. You don't need to always use pip3, and that is probably a pip. Okay, so if that can, yeah, pip, and if it doesn't work, and check what is if it is pip3 according to default interpreter that is configured in your Python in your system. And now if I go here, import pyramid, you see it is working. And now I can do all magic with that framework to build websites. And this is just a simple code they have given. Let me copy this thing and paste it here. Okay. And if I run that application, all I need to Python space and pkgex. Oh, again, my by default Python 3. And I'm running that application now. I can access this one you on a port 6543. So localhost, that port number. And you can see hello world. I can access a website. Let's change this one instead of hello world. Hello, my first website, bang. And all I need to do is actually rerun that one. Go back and refresh this one. And you see here, hello, my first website, bang. So from browser, I'm accessing that my website. That is, this is a website. This is back in here. What you see here, because this is a business logic code. And what do you see is a in a browser is front end. Since this is not a HTML, you don't see anything. All you see is a text. And if you put anything here, let's say if you want to make is a color green or black like that, what you would do, paragraph. This is markup language. Browsers understand these codes. We call them as tags. Oh, style. I made a mistake. I will have to use the style tag instead of a color attribute. Style attribute. So, if you see any website here, if I go to page source, this is what from backend comes. Because of all these tags, we see website like this. We call this as a HTML hyper. HTTP is a protocol, hypertext transfer protocol, and yeah, and that is used by means this HTML is communicated. So, which is a markup language.